Okay.
Why are you guys farting on air?
Yeah, SANJ, you fucking dirty pig.
You
We're not in
dirty
India,
bastard.
Oh, you're funny.
Because I only said that because of the Brad joke where it's like fucking. He goes, I swear Indians shit in the street, don't they?
Wait, does he really like have this retarded voice?
He does.
Or are you making
A little bit, yeah.
He was in UFF yesterday saying stuff about Chelsea winning Champions League. And he was,
that's
like, atting all the
wait.
United fans.
Is that Brad the Chelsea fan?
Yeah.
That guy's a mug.
Yeah, he said they'll win the league next year.
Yeah.
They'll win everything.
Like he's the guy who kept saying, whenever we say the star man up top phrase, he said that first. Like we'll play pro clubs. So like, where do you play? And he goes, I'm the star man up top, you idiot. Where do you think I play?
Oh, of course. Of course. He invented it. He invented scoring goals.
Yeah, he doesn't score many though.
I scored more
So he's basically Brad CHOUPO-STOPPING.
Yeah.
Have you seen that clip though?
Yeah.
What, where he missed it?
Oh,
yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, I just saw it.
You sent it yesterday, right, Auba?
I was literally I thought when I saw the thumbnail of the video of it like going through his legs sort of type thing, I think did the ball go through was the ball coming across goal and it goes through his legs? But no, he literally stopped the ball on the goal line. And he I just don't understand what he did.
I don't think anyone does, including him. I don't.
Like, don't get me wrong, great piece of defending.
Yeah, but what did he intend to do? Like what?
I think he looked to stop it with his left foot and then tap it in with his right foot, so he claims the goal, not the guy who chipped the goalkeeper.
Yeah, but
it's very.
Why would you just not if you want to claim the goal, just put your foot out and let the ball hit your foot and go in?
He's a bit of a prat, really. Let's be honest.
I mean, no, he's funny, and the worst part is, I actually like the guy. I don't think he's a bad player, but again,
no, I agree with what you're saying.
He got a mad transfer though, from relegated Stoke to PSG.
Yeah,
but again,
like, fam, who's his agent?
Listen, but it was weird. It was weird because when he went from Mainz to Stoke, it was the same kind of move that like Shaqiri made, where you go down 15 levels basically from where your talent level is.
Bayern. He went from Bayern.
Yeah, but see, no, I'm talking about the level of form, because Choupo-Moting was on form before he went to Stoke, and then it was the same thing. He
should have got to maybe a bigger German club.
It was the same thing with what's his name, Mame Biram Diouf. He went from Hanover, scored like 20 goals in a season, and then went to fucking Stoke to play for Mark Hughes.
I believe that Dortmund's very unlucky yesterday.
Oh. Yeah, very, very unlucky. 4 goals in the first half. Oof.
Unlucky that their heads weren't screwed on. The pricks. Oh, I really didn't want Bayern Munich to win the fucking thing just because it's Bayern Munich. But let's be honest, we knew they were going to win the fucking league anyway. I'm a good whistler.
Oh.
Oh.
Do the ladies like your whistling?
Yeah, of course, man. That kind of whistling, though.
Oh, that sound! That sound! Dude, it sounded like you sucked out the oyster without opening the oyster. It was like some alien type shit where you just went like, You know, and it was like that. You know the moment in Silence of the Lambs when he says, "I will eat your liver with a side of Chianti." Oh, dude, fucking Anthony Hopkins,
So hard.
creepy as fuck.
Hey guys, this is the Star Man up top here, Elite Pasta Man.
The Rant Boys Podcast.
Van Persie arriving. Oh, what a goal! What a goal by Robin Van Persie!
Fantastic lead.
Time to go!
Why you, no, don't
It's time to go!
Don't interrupt me.
I will interrupt!
Don't interrupt me.
I will interrupt because
You've got a small voice.
it's time to go!
I don't need to look at you. Can't even speak.
Time to go!
You can't even speak. So don't interrupt
And
me.
even when I can't speak, I speak more sense than you fucking ever do!
What are you swearing for? What are you swearing for?
It's time to go!
What are you swearing for?
Get it
What are you
out
swearing
of
for?
your fucking head!
I think even Pochettino's more passionate about Arsenal than Gronkia.
Like he's not only, he's just sitting on his ass and waiting for the money to drip. Hi and welcome to the return of the Rant Boys Podcast. We haven't been on air for a while due to various things, most notably because there was an international break and we had some roster turnover, if you will, some changes in our production squad and some changes in our content and some changes in our approach. And you guys will figure it out soon enough because we've decided to make this more precise, shorter, and eventually more fun. So, to kick it off here with me, unfortunately, Tony's not here, but I am.
नंबर 1 प्लेयर सिंथिया और हमारे जोशीले प्लेयर ऐश के बीच.
Fuck, wrong drop. So to kick it off, I fail epically, and I'm gonna keep this in because just so you guys can figure out how unused to this soundboard I am. But here we go.
About my who? About my what?
About my gangbang gang. Yes, hit the right one. Yes, that's me. With me is the man from Coventry, a not depressed Liverpool fan because they got away with it against their academy team. It's SANJ.
Liverpool! Liverpool! Come on! Shackles!
Feeling good, SANJ?
Oh, very good. Top of the league. Nothing's changed. Another day.
Oh, yeah. And with us, the newest addition to the Rant Boys squad, a potential key player of the future. Hopefully not an Icardi situation on the horizon with this man, even though he is from Italy originally. I mean, technically he doesn't come from Italy. He's from London. You guys will figure it out. It's Pasta.
It's Pastamania!
Oh my god, it's Pasta Mania. Pasta! How you doing, man?
Yo, how are you, man? It's good to be here, man. I'm
Yeah,
excited
finally.
to talk about football and stuff.
lovely intro. It's exciting to talk about football and stuff.
I'm happy to be here.
Yay.
Bro, I'm just saying, right? This man in the cool SANJ, he's a cheater. And
Now
enough
that
on
we-
that, but
Yeah.
we
Okay.
have to
But
fucking
yeah.
think about Liverpool.
Did you blank? Are you blanking?
No.
Is your brain frozen? Are we experiencing frozen pasta?
A little bit.
Okay. Don't worry about that.
Just
To unfreeze us, we start off with Bayern Munich destroying Borussia Dortmund. Because, of course, I predicted it. Tony thought Dortmund had a chance of winning the league. I told him. And
I was right a fucking again.
yes, I was. I was right. So, to flex my muscle, Niko Kovac provided me with a 5-0 win. Guys, what the hell happened to Dortmund, Sanj?
Oh, it's just they capitulated. Literally, the run-in, the pressure. You're probably seeing what's happened when a young squad goes out of their depth almost. Like, they're a very good team, but you need some experience in there. And maybe they're just a bit too young. It reminds me a bit like Monaco when they got to the Champions League semi-finals. They did very well, but they were young, so they didn't have the experience to win it. But obviously Monaco didn't capitulate. They got beaten by a very good Juventus team. However, Dortmund got destroyed, absolutely destroyed. And it makes me worry about Germans football, considering Spurs turned over Dortmund, Liverpool went to the Munich and won fairly comfortably. Like, Jesus, German football is going to have some revamp type soon if they want to dominate Champions League again.
Yeah, they are. They are kind of crap as a nation of late. Like, it's not been good. The only Bayern Munich has made it past the quarterfinals in the last 4 years of their participation in the Champions League. Of course, we saw what happened to Schalke. Schalke are crap. They're near the relegation zone. They're fighting for their lives this season. Awful season for them after finishing second last year, which is kind of ridiculous. They got bricked up by Man City, but this capitulation from Dortmund is just, again, I said that Lucien Favre's teams kind of tend to do this, but past that, 5-0, I guess, young team, like Sanj said, going away, pressure game, but did you expect a 5-0?
No. Before the game, I actually predicted Dortmund would win 2-1. I just thought, I had a feeling that maybe this was the year, right, where they could beat them. I didn't think they would win the Bundesliga, though, but, geez, I didn't expect that. I thought it was going to be a close game. I think you saw the difference between experience and I guess the inexperienced players of Borussia Dortmund this year. So for me, it's a hard one because I did predict Dortmund to win, but we saw them against Tottenham. They didn't look too great, and they again just didn't look too much like a big team. I think that Dortmund historically, in recent history, as in, would say from the last 10 years, have, under Klopp, even more so, have done excellent. But I think that's what people get, I think, for taking Bayern for granted.
I would agree with that. I think Bayern were definitely taken for granted based on what they did in the Champions League. And again, I think it reflects very well on what Sanj said, that German football is in a crisis, because if Liverpool can come to the Allianz Arena and dispatch Bayern with the ease they did, and this happens to Dortmund, and we've seen what a Spurs team that at that moment when they were playing Dortmund were kind of out of form, and they pretty much easily dealt with Dortmund. This doesn't spell well for not just the entirety of German football based on what we've seen from them in the World Cup. This is their club game is kind of going down the toilet, because if your main two title contenders engage in a match where one of them is a historical powerhouse and can't do anything in Europe, but then destroys the other title contender, basically the leader in the table, by 5-0, which, by the way, Dortmund hit the post in the first 10 minutes and basically didn't cross the center circle until the second half. It was 4-0 at halftime. They couldn't get out of their own half. I mean, it was compounded with the young French defender Dan Axel Zagadou, who earned a yellow card in the first half and made a terrible mistake for Bayern's second goal, which Lewandowski finished off perfectly it was a brilliant goal. Guys, check it out on YouTube if you haven't seen it. Great finish from Lewandowski, who scored a brace in this game. Serge Gnabry, excellent in this game. Goal and an assist. But Zagadou got pulled off at halftime. It's just this entire Dortmund team kind of relied on basically playing on a counter and having time on the ball and being allowed sort of to build out of the back. And when your defenders start panicking, when you have a 19-year-old back there, Pasta, you would know as a Juventus fan that doesn't spell well.
It doesn't. Like, I look at it more than just from that perspective. I look at it that there's times where Allegri this season and in the past has changed up our defence and it hasn't worked, where he's taken Chiellini out and we've just looked so inexperienced. We've been making mistakes. I mean, I think that if you play a young defender, you've got to play him with someone who's, first of all, very good and very experienced. Because, and in a big game like the one against Dortmund, it was never going to go down well. Let's be honest. I mean, Bayern Munich, are still, even though they're not as good as they used to be, they're still a very good team. Like we saw with Lewandowski. Even this season, I was thinking, I think he's gone downhill. I don't think he's any good anymore. But now you see the kind of goal he's scored against Dortmund. I mean, not many strikers in the world would, I guess, score with the quality he kind of showed just the other day. And he's in his 30s now. So
yeah, but let's be real. It's still a top class striker. That's, I mean, I take him for the next 2 years. That's he's just a
better than
phenomenal
Giroud.
player. No, of course.
He's got 201 Bundesliga goals, so it's quite impressive, really.
That thanks for that stat, by the way, Sanj. Because I almost forgot to mention that. That's quite a record. that's when you look back at his career, he's gonna be up there with domestically, at least in Germany, on the levels of guys like Gerd Müller and Rudi Feller, which like historically
he's literally like he's like the German Alan Shearer or the German Totti.
Yeah, I'd say more the German Henry. I think Lewandowski could well be the best foreign player in the history of the Bundesliga. I think this is he's pretty much up there with 201 goals. I mean, that's quite a record. And I want to, before we move on, I just wanted to ask Sanj, there's been a lot of talk of Dortmund defender Manuel Akanji, who, again, didn't cover himself in glory in this game, but a lot of people have compared him to a young Virgil van Dijk, and he's been very popular when it comes to transfer rumors. Do you think that playing next to super young guys like Zagadou and Diallo, I mean, Akanji isn't old, he's 23, but he's viewed as more of a top class, more of a finished defender, I guess, when it comes to his progression to the level he's eventually going to get. Do you think that his stock has dropped in a game like this, or do you think it's more of a team thing?
Oh, I mean, it's just one game. Like it was very catastrophic, and it's very publicized how bad that game went. But you've just got to put that game in the back of your head and continue to go again. If he can put in a 10 out of 10 man of the match performance in the next few games, if Dortmund can somehow win this league title, even though it's very unlikely, then I'm sure his value will go straight back up. If not, they're going to be in the Champions League again next year, and he's got another platform to prove to himself that he can get to the level of Van Dijk. Because, yes, he's 23, but it's still fairly young for a defender age, so he's got plenty of more to learn and develop. I mean, Van Dijk's 28, so that's 5 years difference to get to his level.
That is true. as for the Bundesliga title race, before we move on, Bayern have now moved 1 point ahead of Dortmund with 6 games to go. Quite likely they'll win the rest of their fixtures, but again, they did draw at Freiburg a week before, the past week, 1-1. Freiburg are pretty low in the table, currently 13th, so you really never know with this Bayern team this year. They've been on and off. They've had phenomenal performances. They've had duds. And again, Dortmund might still have a chance, but I personally don't believe it, because this is likely a very, very big boost to Bayern in terms of their confidence and in terms of Niko Kovac's job security for next season, because he is the man who was brought in to sort of arrest the slide of this Bayern team in terms of evolving it into a younger squad and rebuilding, I guess, this title contending team. And so far, hasn't gone well in the Champions League, but domestically at least, there have been positive signs. So we'll see when summer comes what actually happens with my compatriot, Mr. Kovac, and his brother, the assistant coach, Robert Kovac. So it's a Croatian contingent there. However, tougher work in another title race was made, but basically it was secured in Spain, the title for Barcelona, who managed to throw a grenade into Atletico Madrid's bunker. Well-constructed, armored concrete bunker of Diego Simeone got blown up early in the first half when Diego Costa got sent off for motherfucking a referee in Spanish. Now, what exactly he said to him, I don't know, because I don't speak Spanish, but there was a puta in there and there was a madre in there from what I could diagnose and from what I've read. So when you throw yourself into a referee's face and you tell him he's a motherfucker, SANJ, you're gonna get sent off, right?
Yeah, you are. That's the way they're trying to protect the refs now as well these days. So it's getting very protective, this game. And I don't know what the stat was, but it's not Diego Costa has more red cards. It's he's missed more games through suspensions than goals or something. Was it?
I think.
I think so.
Like the amount of games he's missed through suspension is more than the goals he scored in his professional career. Like, bloody hell, that's amazing. I remember when they said Suarez has been banned from football from FA reviews rather than getting red cards.
Well,
so like I think he's only had one red card in his career, and that was the Uruguay handball. But he's had like 4 banning incidents.
Well, of course, when you
people, right?
Yeah, well, when you go full on rabid dog / Count Dracula / I don't know, like the mosquito, I guess it wasn't a mosquito. More, I guess he was more on the underworld scale of biting people. You know, werewolf, lichen, with the teeth and all that stuff. So, yeah, he got himself suspended for, what was it, nearly a year after he moved to Barcelona during that World Cup.
I think it was
not nearly a year. It's a few months.
It was 4 months.
Like 10 games, I think. 10 games. He missed 10 games at the start of the season.
The original banning was 4 months, but because it was over the summer, which never made sense to me, so they banned him over the summer, so it was effectively 1-2 months.
Yeah.
So he only really missed 2 months worth of football.
Interesting. However, Diego Costa completely threw a spanner into Simeone's bunkering plans. Yes, his fortress
literally,
of...
literally, it's silly, stupid strikers. Like this other derby has no relation, but the Celtic versus Rangers derby, that striker called Manolas, he's got 5 red cards this year.
Alfredo Morelos. Oh,
not Manolas, sorry, Morelos.
Legend. What a legend.
He got sent off in the exact same minute I assume as Diego Costa, and it just completely hindered Rangers' chances of winning the league title. Same for Atletico trying to catch Barcelona.
The hilarious thing about Morelos is I think he's still the leading goal scorer in Scotland, and he's got sent off 5 times.
Yeah, he's a good player, but his attitude is mad. Like, could you imagine if your front two were Morelos and Diego Costa?
That would be so perfect. And you have Scott Brown from Celtic playing in midfield with Roy Keane.
Bro, and you have fucking Icardi as well.
Oh god, Icardi. Just say.
We'll get to him. And Sergio Ramos at the back.
Like, someone should just create a club and buy those players just for the banter.
Yeah.
100%.
Scott Brown.
I have a question though.
Yeah.
Does this Barcelona result show that PK is underrated?
Oh, yeah. You know I'm a PK stan. That's my guy. Like, if there's a Barcelona player I credit more than any other player for their success in the last decade, it's Gerard Piqué. Because when you draw a line, it literally, this dominant streak of Barcelona's starts with Piqué coming back to Barca, and it still has not ended. Again, it coincides with Messi coming in the team and Iniesta and Xavi being around, but when you look at it, it's Messi and Piqué who have been the mainstays, the main guys in that team. I guess you could throw Busquets in there, but to me, it's definitely Piqué and Messi who are the two generational talents, all-time talents, in my opinion, in that team.
I agree. I think that Piqué it seems for me like he gets better with age. Like, he's been phenomenal this season.
Yeah, and as much as people will say that his athleticism kind of dropped, again, it might have dropped a bit, but still, Gerard Piqué is such an intelligent defender that he won't find himself out of position that often. He will not do anything stupid. It's why he was such a great partner to Sergio Ramos, who is prone to stupidity at all costs.
Yeah, like Sergio Ramos, I don't rate him as much as I rate Piqué, and it comes down to one of the reasons purely the fact that Sergio Ramos, he'll get suspended before a
shithouse
game. Like, oh, of course. Like, I do like his style in the sense of he likes to upset the opposition strikers, but it's the way he does it. It's the way in which he gets suspended.
Doesn't feel professional.
Yeah.
No, not at all. Of course, but it's even
very Nigel De Jongy. Ramos.
Yeah, like it's not really lovable. It's not a lovable way of defending. Like, everyone looks at Virgil van Dijk and they say he's just class. Like, you can't really hate him, sort of type thing. Yeah. And you could say the same for Piqué. But then you look at Ramos, you think he's very effective at what he does. Don't get me wrong, but he's a prick and I hate him.
What? Total cunt, but has won a lot in his career. And speaking of that, speaking of cunts, Luis Suarez. We've already mentioned him, but Suarez opened the scoring with an amazing curler from the edge of the box. Beat Jan Oblak with a pinpoint precise shot. Went under Oblak's arm from about 22 yards out from the left. Just brilliant finish into the bottom corner in the 85th minute. So very, very late. A breakthrough for Barcelona. But Lionel Messi went on to confirm the victory 1 minute after that, when Atletico inevitably had to come out of the bunker because Barca threw a grenade in there, went in with those, you know those Iwo Jima flamethrowers the Americans used to use? Imagine Suarez like handling one of those things, and he just goes in there and he just bursts like a pile of flames, and Simeone comes running out, clutching his balls like, ah, attack! And he's screaming, and the big fat bastard Burgos, his assistant, that guy, that guy looks literally,
right?
he literally looks. You know the guy in Bad Boys 2 when or was it? I think it's the second Bad Boys where it's the Cuban gangster and he has his henchman who cuts people up in pieces when the Russians come and he has them cut into pieces. The fat guy cuts them into pieces. Like Burgos looks like that guy. He looks like the mafia assistant whose job it is to like dissolve bodies into chloride or some shit. Okay. Did you guys catch my drift?
No, yeah, I understand.
Okay. That was a joke that went into a bad direction. We'll move on. Anyway, Lionel Messi scored a goal, 86th minute, class finish. He had Jimenez on the floor, basically throwing himself every which way to try and stop a goal, which in the end he didn't because Messi just like took it with his eyes closed from like 7-8 yards out, just placed it in the bottom corner. Thank you very much. 2-0 win. Barca win the title. We can stop talking about La Liga until basically next season because it's over. And
why did we talk about it in the first place?
Bro, let's be honest. How much of a champion is this man, though? Like
Messi.
He turns up. Yeah, he turns up exactly when Barcelona need him. Like he is, if not the greatest, then one of the greatest of all time. And we're talking up there with Ronaldo, with all these greats, historically speaking. You know, people have their own individual options, but again, he's turned up with the magic against Atletico Madrid, and for me, it was fantastic to watch.
Yeah. But from one title race ending to another title race that's still going on, which is that in the English Premier League, a league we most often cover on this podcast because most of the people are based in England that come on the show. So, SANJ, as a Liverpool fan, you beat your academy team 3-1. You needed to work hard for it. Yep. It was very nervous. But Mo Salah, back in form.
Oh, what a goal, literally. Like, it wasn't a tap-in, it wasn't a penalty. It was a goal he would score with his eyes closed last season. And it was just such a satisfying result because it was a very tough game. Literally, it was one of those games. When we went 1-0 down, I was looking at it and I was thinking, this is the result that derails us, isn't it? Like, I look back at previous title challenges and we look at when Spurs went to West Ham and lost 1-0. 2 games later, Chelsea were confirmed champions and Spurs fell apart. The Leicester season, Spurs drew 1-1 at home to West Brom. Ali got suspended for punching Jakob. It all fell apart. I know Spurs are a bottle job team, so I'm not making them serious, but there's that one result that costs the team. And I was looking at Southampton, I was thinking, this is it. We're going to lose to that relegation fighting team, and City are going to run away with it now, and it's going to mess with our head. But the way we came back, and the goal scorers as well, what's really satisfying is the goal scorers. Salah ended his goal drought, and our biggest criticism is that we don't get goals from midfield, with Coutinho being sold and Ox being injured all season. And so goals from our midfield was very dry, and literally we had Naby Keita get his first goal for Liverpool, which is a massive burden off his shoulders, and Henderson as well. Like, he hasn't scored in a long time.
Captain Henny.
Captain Henny, the memes that will be made if he lifts that Premier League trophy.
we know that Tony hates 2 people on Liverpool with a passion: Adam Lallana and Jordan Henderson.
Yeah. Wow, I mean that would be amazing. But yeah, what a game! Like, great game. Literally massive belief. That's what that has given me massive belief. But there's still hard games to come. I'm not saying it's won yet.
Well, listen, if there is a team in the Premier League that knows Liverpool, it is definitely your academy team.
I mean, yeah, it was. I mean, they gave us a good game, so very good future prospects we've got there.
So
that can be called up to the main team in the future.
So when are Ward-Prowse and Højbjerg coming?
Oh, I don't know, but this was a good scouting match. They impressed us fairly well. Maybe this summer, just to add a bit more squad depth to help us retain the title, but maybe do a double next year with the Champions League and Premier League.
When's Hasenhüttl?
Angus Gunn, he could be a good backup keeper. You never know.
True. And Hasenhüttl, he can be a good assistant manager.
Yeah, he could be a great assistant manager. But to be honest, we don't steal their managers. That's the only thing we don't steal.
That's the only part of Southampton you don't call up.
No, we don't call up their managers. Oh, it's literally like, for every player we give to you, Danny Ings, you give us 3.
I mean, the thing. Yeah.
We can give them back Adam Lallana this year, and then we can take Højbjerg, Ward-Prowse, and
Jan Valery.
Who else? Yeah, sure.
Oh, I was so ready for them to bottle the Premier League. You don't understand. I was ready to hit this schmuck up in the DMs like, you lost. You're a schmuck. But they didn't lose.
Well, he was doing that to all me while we were watching the game together. 1-0, 1-0, and then at full time, he went into his shell, and I just simply posted a message saying, "Oh well, we bottled it, didn't we?"
Yeah, funny enough, the moment we started talking about Liverpool, a thunderstorm emerges in Croatia, quite a violent one. So it's quite interesting. Maybe ominous signs that this Liverpool title challenge might end in epic disaster again. But for now, we'll have to wait, because Manchester City, of course, this weekend played in the FA Cup semi-final where they beat Brighton narrowly by 1-0. Wasn't a convincing performance. But the other FA Cup final was popping, really. It was very interesting. Watford ended up beating Wolves after extra time 3-2. Jared Deulofeu turning into Messi again after 5 weeks of not being peak Jared Deulofeu. He's back to being peak Jared Deulofeu, so another 5 weeks, he'll do it again. So, last day of the season. Watford fans, be sure to purchase your tickets, because Jared Deulofeu will be on form again. That's pretty much how it goes for him. But, Sanj, are you a bit disappointed with the praise that everyone's heaped on Wolves, and Wolves kind of folding after being in a position where they're 2-0 up and getting hit by Troy Deeney's massive Mandingo-sized cojones in the face?
Nah, I think that they just, let's be honest, right? Wolves just got promoted last season. Yeah, they spent a lot of money, but they're work in progress. And to be where they are currently in the Premier League and even in the FA Cup is a huge achievement for them. And I think to be disappointed by that would be unreasonable of their fans and their other people. I think that it comes down to now, if they can really go forward and work with what they have currently, I think they can. I think they're good enough. To be honest with you, I think they could possibly win in the future. Not the Premier League, but they could kind of win their own little races they're going to have with Everton and even West Ham, who I think are looking stronger now. But let's be honest, I don't think they'll be a top 6 team, but they'll be fighting for top 7.
So you predict that we will be renaming the Everton Cup to the Wolverhampton Portuguese Wanderers Cup. The seventh place.
Most likely, let's be honest about it. Like, Nuno's done a great job there.
You mean
really, he has?
You mean older Nathan Redmond?
he does look like Nathan Redmond, though. I'm not gonna lie.
He does. He looks like Nathan Redmond's father.
But no,
the beard.
They're class, man. I do have a lot of respect for Wolves this season. They're class.
Yeah, but again, you're 2-0 up. Come on, man. FA Cup semi-final. You give away. I mean, I get it. Deulofeu goal, great bit of skill, but the penalty. Come on, man. 93rd minute. You have to be focused there. Just don't give anything away, and just that Troy Deeney, when he stepped up with those meaty clackers boiling and his cojones ready to pop, he was going to blast that thing into orbit if he needed to. With the ball, with the net, everyone was going to get blasted into hyperspace. And that's, again, Aubameyang should take note. That's how you take a last-minute penalty. You murder the shit out of the ball.
Yeah, I think that Troy Deeney is just. I do like Troy Deeney, even though obviously he sent for our club a few years ago. He was a whole cojones quote. I still think I respect him because he said it how it is, and he for me just seems like such a realist and such a respectable guy. Like how he's come back from his troubled past and scoring in a semi-final of a FA Cup. It's all commendable. All commendable for me. I can't. I'm a bit nervous of playing Wolves because without Socrates, can Mustafi really stand up to that challenge?
Oh,
he's
no.
going to have from Troy Deeney.
Oh no! Pain! No, we'll get to Mustafi later. Oh, dude. But until we get to Captain Skodran, Captain Calamity, we will go to Italy and Moise Kean rescuing your team Juventus. Pasta, take us through that game. Exciting match, right?
Oh. Yeah, we were lucky in my personal opinion. Moise Kean, or Moise Kean, however people want to call him, he's a talent, man. I've been calling for him to start now for the longest time, right? And this is the reason why. He's clinical, he's fast, he's skillful. I mean, for me, right, personally, I think that he has such potential to become a real great player for the Azzurri and for Juventus if he gets his chance next season, which, in my personal opinion, I think he should because he's shown it against AC Milan. Like, regardless to where they are now, they've still got Romagnoli in the back, and people know, if you know me, I do really rate Romagnoli as a defender. He's very upcoming Milan captain. So no, I think it was an entertaining game. I think this is going to be very controversial to say, but I think Milan should have beaten us. I think they should have had a penalty. I think.
Oh, I agree.
They were unlucky, but Moise Kean coming on, saving our bacon. And you've especially when you've got players like Dybala and other players, right?
Other players?
It's like on the pitch. Other players like
other players on the pitch. I know there are other players on the pitch. Thank you very much.
Yeah, sorry. My brain went
Pasta is freezing again. Frozen pasta. I reckon this is gonna be a running gag on here. Frozen pasta. Your brain. getting stuck in marinara.
Oh, honestly, jeez, sorry. But
anyway, when it comes to frozen people, Paulo Dybala, dude, just what's on with this guy? I get it. People have high expectations of him. Oh, he's supposed to be this great, wonderful Dybala. Oh, magical talent. Same thing with Mesut Ozil. Like, these guys are two of a kind. Where it's like, oh, this guy is so brilliant. He is so magical, brilliant talent. When he's on, he can do anything. And then you realize he's on every 3 or 4 games. So if you're not on every game, what's the point of a guy playing like Messi every 4 or 5 games? And again, I've made fun of Jared Deulofeu, and again, I'll call out Paulo Dybala. You force a penalty, you score a penalty, but other than that penalty, he barely touched the ball for most of the game. Romagnoli absolutely dominated him, and the one time he drifted out to the left and got matched up with Musacchio, he beat Musacchio and forced a penalty. But again, if you're Paulo Dybala, you're expected to do a lot more when Cristiano Ronaldo is not in the side. And as a Juve fan, Pasta, would you agree that perhaps it is time to part ways with Dybala come this summer because he doesn't provide as much value as he used to this team with Cristiano Ronaldo around?
For me, I still rate Dybala highly, and I think this season he's been very ineffective in the team. He hasn't, especially with Ronaldo playing there. I think in terms of getting rid of him, it's hard for me because I look at who would replace him. And obviously, if we got rid of him, we'd have to buy and spend a lot of money and really buy like an attacking midfielder and buy someone who is good enough to replace Dybala and bring the assists in and even some of the goals. I feel like last season he had an off season, definitely, especially after his great start, and then he had the fight with Allegri or whatever, and things kind of, and he had his injuries. I feel getting rid of him now for me is a bit difficult because with Dybala, it's just, I think I really rate him, and my point is that if it became to a point of you get rid of Moise Kean or Dybala, I'm going to have to go with Dybala because Moise Kean is just, he's 19 years old and he's already playing on a level of a world-class player, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So if it comes down to that, then 100%.
And again, it's that's my point. It's gonna come down to that because Mino Raiola has sort of been out there. Mino Raiola, who is the agent of Moise Kean and Bernardeschi, he has sort of been out there, plugging little rumors in the Italian press that if his guys don't get more playing time, he'll move one or even both of them from Juventus. So if it's me, I'd rather keep the younger Italian guys around and have them there for the future and cash in on Dybala and beef up my midfield because, again, Juventus's midfield, in my opinion, got outplayed by the midfield of Milan, especially by the likes of Frank Kessie, who, again, had a brilliant game.
I mean, he's a very good player, and I don't think he gets enough credit in that Milan team as he should. I think Kessie is fantastic in that midfield. He's just, especially against Arsenal when he played against us at in San Siro and Emirates. I think he put in a good performance. You know, I think there's not enough credit for Kessie as a player. And because a lot of rumors are that Milan wants to replace him, and I don't believe they just want to replace him because he's not.
No.
He's not a rubbish player.
I don't think that's correct. I think your angle there is wrong. Again, I don't necessarily think you're wrong on rumors being swirling around Kessie, but it's more Milan. If they come under financial fair play restrictions, the guy they would look to cash in, who has most value, who will bring the most money in, is Frank Kessie. I don't think that Milan are looking to replace him or give up on him because he is their best midfielder by far. I think even with Paquetá coming in and having a terrific impact the way he has, I still think that Kessie is someone who is a top box to box sort of energy providing midfielder. He can play holding midfield, he can play box to box, he can be a ball winner in there, provide energy. He's tidy with his passing, make runs into the box, link up play. I mean, he's an all around brilliant player. He covers so much ground, tremendous work rate. I think he's someone who is definitely going to be a target of top teams in Europe, and I think possibly someone like a Manchester United, a top team from the Premier League, if they need a central midfield option, will be looking at Frank Kessie because he is
of his quality.
Yeah, he is a player that can play in a high tempo league, in a high tempo system. Unlike Timur Bakayoko, who is more suited to play in a sort of slower, more tactical league, as he's shown in France and now in Italy, where he continued his good form by assisting to Krzysztof Piątek for the only goal that Milan scored. By the way, Milan had several good chances, with Suso setting up Piątek early, right before Milan actually scored. Piątek missed a header from point blank range, about 4 or 5 yards out, I would say. So Piątek again scored, but could have had another. Milan in total possibly should have had maybe a goal or two more. And again, that's the difference, in my opinion, between the level that Juventus are on and the level that teams
Milan are on.
Yeah, the level that the Milan teams mainly who are looking to compete for the Serie A title are on, and the level that Napoli are on, that have shown the lack of clinical execution when they played Juventus, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago. It's just you were.
I think it's also consistency.
It is, but there is such a level to Juventus. This is their 9th Scudetto in a row, and a lot gets made of, for instance, the French league being kind of dead and the Bundesliga being kind of dead, and people ignore how dead the Serie A has been in terms of competitiveness, because since Juventus have gone on this run of dominance in France, since the 2010-2011 season, in France, Montpellier have won the title in 2012, and Monaco have won the title in 2017. In Germany, Borussia Dortmund have won a title. And in Italy, it's been Juventus. For 9 years, it's been Juventus, and until last season and Sarri's Napoli team, there hasn't been any doubt that Juve are going to win the title. And again, this season, there wasn't much doubt because Juve are just on a planet to themselves, and now the goal is, can you win that Champions League? But on the topic of Champions League,
right? And
yeah,
I feel like the reason we've been so dominant is because of the business we've got in recent seasons, and I think teams like Milan haven't really done great business, and for them, that's why they're in the situation where they are. I don't think it's really any other reason as to like just their business. They've had a poor flurry of business in recent history.
Yeah, but again,
last few years, I think
it does
they've signed
coincide.
players that
It does coincide with spending power, and Juve have been on top and have built their business model to such a degree where they can go and outspend everyone. But
yeah,
in terms of
Milan
Serie A,
they just spent poorly.
Well, yes, but if Serie A wants to be more competitive, you need both the Milan clubs in the Champions League, and to achieve that, Inter, moving on, will need to beat teams like Atalanta to secure their spot. Instead, they drew at home at the Giuseppe Meazza, or the San Siro, as it's more commonly known, against Atalanta, who, without their main goal threat, Duvan Zapata, looked pretty much harmless. They played some good football, but without Zapata, they really don't have a focal point up front for Papu Gomez and Ilicic to play off of. So it does come down to Inter really having to win those games. And speaking of goal threats, Mauro Icardi back in the team after he did score a goal last time out and set up Ivan Perisic, who then gave him a very frosty look after that assist. But, however, Inter this time kind of dead. I mean, what Pasta, did you think they were threatening in any way?
Yesterday, yeah, but they weren't. They're just not consistent enough. And I think Atalanta, again, have been very good this year. But there's no excuse. I mean, this is Inter Milan. They should be beating these teams. Like, a few months ago, Inter Milan were competing with Tottenham Hotspur and beat Tottenham Hotspur. And now they're struggling with Atalanta. For me, it's a bit murky, really. I feel like they're better than that. But we'll see. I feel Icardi has definitely upset the squad a hell of a lot. And what Spalletti said is right. He's not Ronaldo or Messi, but then the problem with Spalletti's quotes are he kind of disproved it when he said, "But he's our Messi or Ronaldo." For me, it's a bit of a silly comment to me.
I mean, it's Spalletti. It's Spalletti in all his glory and all his genius. And before we move on with Luciano's madness, SANJ is gonna leave us very soon, so we're just gonna take a quick detour into the Champions League and get SANJ's thoughts. Again, Liverpool are playing Porto in the Champions League at home at Anfield. So SANJ, how confident are you that Liverpool are not going to bottle it against Porto?
I feel fairly confident because it's the Champions League. This is the one competition, no matter who we face, we always feel confident against. So it should be... I'm not saying we're going to smash them like we did last year, because this seems to be a better Porto side. And you'd be foolish to go into a match complacent thinking it's going to be an easy win, right? They're going to want to prove a point. They're going to get their revenge from last year. But what's crucial for Liverpool is that we've got the easiest tie out of the rest of the Champions League teams. So we've got to take advantage of that and go and get a 2-3 goal lead. So when we go to that away leg, I'm not saying we're going to rotate. I don't think you should ever rotate in an away game in the Champions League. But if you go there with a 2-goal, 3-goal cushion, you can relax, take it a bit easy a little bit, only score 1 goal, maybe, and just see it out. Don't use 100% of your energy.
Only score 1. Dude, you're playing fucking Porto. We're in the Europa League. Arsenal is in the Europa League. We have a tougher draw than you guys.
Yeah. I know. But it's Champions League. It's just anything can happen. You saw what Roma did to Barcelona. If Liverpool get complacent when they're 2-0 up or 3-0 up from the first leg, anything could happen. If they're focusing on this league too much, anything could happen.
Real Madrid did to Barcelona. Where are you? What year is this? You mean Ajax?
What Roma did to Barcelona last year, I meant.
Oh, Roma. Okay. I heard Real Madrid. I'm like,
So I meant Rome. I meant Roma.
Yeah, I'm like, are we back in 2013? Is this Mourinho all over again?
Nah. What Roma did to Barcelona, and you could say what Ajax did to Madrid.
Yeah,
Real Madrid thought they were through with a 2-1 away win. Ajax come up and clark them at their own ground and go through to the quarterfinals.
Well, to be honest,
it's an away leg. It's an away leg. Anything can happen in an away leg.
Yeah,
so
listen,
hopefully 3-0 win at Anfield, then just coast through, score one away goal in the second leg into the semi-finals for 2 years running.
Virgil van Dijk should be able to deal with Musa Marega. Let's be honest here. It's not exactly some sort of Lionel Messi type figure playing for Porto. I mean, I'll say this again. You guys are in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, and you have an easier draw than Arsenal have in the Europa League. Now, before you piss me off further with some serious analysis of this, because apparently you do not understand how much of a joke this is. You go like, oh, I'm so afraid of Porto. We need to be serious because it's fucking Porto. Sanj, good luck. Don't break your leg playing football. Thank you. Goodbye. You're released from your service.
No matter what team. Literally, I'll be shitting myself when Huddersfield come to Anfield.
Huddersfield, I don't think Huddersfield have recorded a result other than a loss since like January.
I think they have won one. They beat Wolves. Funny enough, speaking of Wolves.
Wait!
Previously.
They beat Wolves?
Literally, I remember I made a funny stat. Huddersfield have done the double over Wolves, and Wolves almost did the double over Chelsea. So I was like, technically, Huddersfield are better than Wolves, who are better than Chelsea.
Wolves did the double over Manchester United. Ha ha! On that note, Sanj, thank you, man.
No worries, it's been a pleasure.
All right, man. We'll catch you later in the week. Hopefully, you don't shit yourself against Porto.
Yeah, hopefully not. Still, plenty of games for that to happen if it doesn't happen against Porto.
Don't worry. Don't forget that Liverpool diaper that you have on.
Oh, don't worry. I've already got them pre-ordered.
The nappies in the mail. Sanj, thanks.
Oh my god.
And at that point, on the nappies point, Wanda has to change Mauro's nappies because he pooped the bed when it came to the relationships within a locker room.
Oh man, Icardi's he's a meme at this point. He's just a meme. Like, things have gone downhill for him, like at Inter, at a rapid rate, and I can't say I feel sorry for him because he fucking plays for Inter, and I'm a Juventus fan, but I'm happy, to say the least, that things aren't working out for him. However, I just want Inter and AC Milan to get UCL because these are the kind of teams that deserve to be there. Obviously, historically speaking, I think. But
again, you do need competition. That's the other part. Like you need competition, and in order to have competition in the league, for Juve to be more consistently tested and to get back to consistently competing for the Champions League, you need a consistent threat, a consistent test, because we see how it goes with PSG when they turn up and have people missing from 2 yards out, and we'll get to that soon enough. It's not even 2 yards out, it's 2 inches out. We'll get to CHOUPO-STOPPING very soon. But
oh god.
On that point, Mauro Icardi completely useless because he parked his bum in the stroller again in the penalty area and did nothing. Raja Nainggolan had one good chance in this game for Inter. It didn't go in. Finished 0-0. Spalletti tried to turn it around by inserting the 50-year-old recreational footballer, Borja Valero! Our friend Borja Valero.
I'm telling you.
The guy we all play with every weekend, who thinks he has all the technique in the world and will try a volley from his own half every single time the ball falls kindly.
Well, I mean, that's the biggest issue of Inter. It's when they're bringing off players like him off the bench. I think they're just not the Inter of old, are they? Really?
Don't worry. Ranocchia at center forward is still in the waiting.
Yeah. Oh man, that's the biggest problem with Inter. Like, they don't have. They've got the players. Like, they've got what's his name, Keita,
Balde Keita.
Balde. Yeah.
Balde, yeah. Balde Keita's there, but then Spalletti 11 minutes earlier puts on Borja Valero because obviously Borja Valero will solve it. Cadreva's on the bench. Joao Mario's on the bench. Honestly, I told you yesterday when we were on a voice chat talking about this game. In the 75th minute, I was claiming, here comes Ranocchia at center forward. Here comes Spalletti with his genius tactical ideas. He knows how to solve it. Luciano.
Of course, like, it's terrible.
I mean, they are.
Oh, jeez.
They are a meme club, but this is like this season in the history of Inter is one of the craziest. As crazy of a club as they are, this is up there with the entire Icardi thing, with him refusing to play, faking a knee injury, and then coming back and negotiating whether he's gonna come back or not, and his wife going on a television show and being lectured on how to be a proper teammate by Antonio Cassano. Of all people, Antonio Cassano, a man who went to Real Madrid, said that he was there to cash the checks, not to play football.
I mean, you can't blame him. I mean, the guy was making a lot of money.
Let's be honest here. Like, what level of professionalism are you at when Antonio Cassano gets to lecture you on how unprofessional you are?
It's too much for me. Like, big yikes. I look at Inter. I think that they're way off the stack, man.
Dude, the funny thing is they even brought in your man Beppe Marotta to make them more professional. Instead, Marotta has just gone crazy.
He has.
And
I think that
a pleasant surprise joining us from Chennai, fucking India.
No.
Ash.
Wait. All right, so this is recorded. I just thought of it dropping in for a while. That's it.
Yeah, we're recording.
Okay, so I'm actually grabbing my lunch. So it's basically 8:30 in India. So I'm the shift in charge. So this is my spare time. So I thought I could,
Oh yeah.
show up.
Let me drop in your introductory music.
Oh no, don't do that. Obviously, we're gonna get smacked by Barcelona, so I'm just preparing my lines for that. Ashley Young is definitely on the list.
Ashley Young is on the list.
People, I never knew Angry Rant Man, a guy from India, would become a sensation. Like, I mean, it's in our blood. We could actually imitate that accent. It's so easy. So yeah, I don't mind.
You don't need to imitate. Just be yourself.
No. You could do. I mean, I could do better than that. Like, come up with my own accent.
Of course, I trust you.
No, he's basically from the east of India, so they've got a different type of accent. He's a Bengali.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's a Bengali. He's from Calcutta, I guess. I think he's from Calcutta. Like, I could judge him by names. You know, you got those traditional names, you know, when it comes to area. So in the north, when someone is named Saha, his actual name is, his second name is Saha. So Sahas are usually from West Bengal.
Wait, Saha as in Louis Saha.
Yeah, S-A-H-A. How funny, right?
So the guy is basically Louis Saha's cousin. Interesting.
Yeah.
Dude, on that point.
So what are we talking on today?
Yeah, we're midway through the show. You actually came in at the right moment.
Yeah, there goes my silence.
Are you?
No, that's fine. I mean, I was actually frustrated about the recent scam that's happening at Man United because Alexis Sanchez is actually getting paid 500k a week for doing absolutely nothing. Like, how can he do that? I actually didn't believe in people, you know, people used to say to me that there are people who still get paid a ransom for doing absolutely shit, nothing. And now I believe, I mean, I could see it before my eyes. And you can't stop that scam, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, people actually know he's been scamming us around. Yes, of course, he puts in an occasional Instagram post saying that he's going to come back. He's going to come back like a fighter. He's a warrior, and he's going to do bits at Man United. And what I see in the pitch is him cutting back and then giving that usual dink balls. Like every guy can read it. Even I, with amateur knowledge of football, could read it. Could read what's going to happen. Like when Alexis Sanchez gets the ball. So we got to get that guy out. He's a disgrace. He's a disgrace to the number 7. So yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, it's well said, in my opinion.
No, there's a lot. Come on. I mean, the contract clearly states that, you know, he gets paid 340k a week, and if he starts a match, he gets another 150k. So that's basically 500k for doing nothing. I mean, all these matches that he's played. Phil Jones, I guess, has scored more goals than him.
Yeah.
Phil Jones. Oh, let's say Mustafi has done better than him.
Nah.
No. I'm talking about goal scoring stats, and he's only
dude. It's fucking Shkodran Mustafi. No one harms you like Shkodran Mustafi.
I know.
Having Shkodran Mustafi in your team.
So like I said,
having Shkodran Mustafi in your team.
Alexis Sanchez. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but having Shkodran Mustafi in your team.
We all know where Mustafi's potential is. And we all know where Alexis Sanchez is, right? I can't imagine he's been doing shit at United for almost a year.
Let's be honest. Having Shkodran Mustafi in your team is like being a heterosexual man and cutting off your dick. That's how it is.
In India, that's what I say. My brother, you get paid 300,000 pounds a week for what? For doing absolutely nothing. This guy says he's a better footballer, and I can see only nothing. I mean, he's only good for selling coconuts in India. Tell me, I'm telling you.
Chaiwala.
Nothing more than that. Like I said, we have to get these these veterans out of the club. I mean, they're good for nothing. Ashley Young, I mean, Manchester United should have sold him the moment a pigeon shat on his face. Even nature knew that he was good for nothing. Apart from the occasional motivational speech that he gives in the dressing room. But no one cares about what happens in the dressing room, except for the girls that you snap. That guy talks a lot in the dressing room, but doesn't show up on the pit. That's where you got to show. Right? So, you know, saying that he's an experienced head is needed in the dressing room is ridiculous. It's ludicrous. I mean, we got enough experience. Even the manager knows what to do. Yeah, I don't need experience. We can shove these guys out of the club. I mean, they're good for selling coconuts or they can do some other job.
I just realized.
A good scam. I mean, I'm actually seriously thinking of hiring him for IT. Basically, we try to get those superb deals from foreign, and it's basically scamming. I mean, it's passive scamming. I mean, we try. I mean, we actually, you know, give a good appealing deal, and they fall for it. I mean, Sanchez has basically done it. I mean, who the fuck gave him 500k a week? Who the fuck does it? And that guy, when he got the contract, should be saying like this, like
Ed Woodward.
These stupid fools.
Ed Woodward.
Who pays me 500k a week? Man United, Ed Woodward. Wow, these guys, the biggest April Fools on earth right now is Ed Woodward and Man United. Dude, and this is coming from a Manchester United fan.
By the way, I just realized Ashley Young looks like the real life version of Megamind.
Oh yeah,
his head like fucking. Oh Jesus Christ, man!
That's what I'm talking about. He's the
what
real life version of Megamind.
Yeah, it is simple. What are the odds of a pigeon? Hang on.
Oh, dude.
Oh,
yo.
I
Meanwhile,
really hate Mustafi, man.
Yeah, dude. Before we get to Mustafi, I just want to point this out. Ash is calling from his breakfast/lunch break in the middle of the world's sweatiest armpit named India. In the middle of the world's sweatiest armpit named India, Ash calls in from his lunch break to trash fucking Ashley Young and Alexis Sanchez, and they're earning 500,000 a week. This is commitment, people. Right. This is called commitment.
All right. Okay, hang on. This is my time to flex. I'm actually the shift in charge, so basically everything that happens to the plant comes to, people report to me. So yeah, I'm sorry for the, inconvenience caused there. There was a
so
here's the thing. What are the odds of a pigeon, like of a bird, crapping on your mouth? Like it's let's say it's very rare. I mean, it's not even. It's impossible. A bird did that, so that's the sign. That's where you got to take notice, right?
Yeah.
If you got
about the stats, it's not about the fans' review. It's Mother Nature crying out for fuck's sake to remove that guy out of United because he's a disgrace to Man United.
Ash, when you have that fucking Megamind-sized head, it's not that hard to hit. It's a pretty big target.
My brother, he's going to go up against the Messi and co. You gotta be kidding me. We're not ready for that.
You are so gonna get smashed.
Oh my god, I can't imagine.
Bro, there are some United fans that think they'll beat fucking Barcelona, man.
Ah, yeah, I know. Those are the optimistics one, OLE'S on the way. How shit does it feel? You got Sanchez, Paul Pogba, and all of them. I really dread. That's my line for now, because none of them are showing up.
It's been, dude. I remember you. You were on top of the world until literally 3 weeks ago. Then Wolves happened twice.
Yeah, I told you. I was the only one who said that we're not going to finish top 4. Tony was like, "Now you're gonna get top 4 because they got Iwobi." Like, are you kidding me? Are you seriously kidding me? We got Champions League. And I don't know how the fuck we qualified, against PSG. And now to top it all, we got injuries, we got fatigue, and then there's people who don't want to sign contracts because they're pissed off Alexis Sanchez gets paid 500k a week for doing absolutely shit. And definitely, I'll be pissed off if my co-worker does that, So it's natural. I'm not going to blame these guys, but then partly it's... Yeah, partly it's understandable, but the other part, you got to do what you're paid to do, right? So if, they have to show up. Paul Pogba has to definitely deliver.
I'm sorry. Norwegian Andy Serkis got outclassed twice by middle-aged Nathan Redmond.
And that's the thing. I mean, here's the hypocrisy, When Jose Mourinho lost, I think we played the same way. There was nothing different, except for the fact that, there was some fresh blood. People had some fresh minds, good ideas, blah, 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 and shit. It's all good to write an article. But then when you say, in the grand scheme of things, it was basically counter-attacking football. So when Mourinho lost, they were like, "You fucking donkey. This guy is boring as shit and la, la, la." And when OLE'S lost it, it's basically, it's only one game. They can come up. But hang on, the tactics are same. Why aren't you blaming the tactics? That's the hypocrisy that United, like generally every fan has. Like,
well, I think
you become a fan favorite. You're a hard guy to sack from the club, and that's
I was saying, right?
Yeah,
I was saying that when what's it called? When Arsenal played United, Unai Emery outdid Ole with tactics in that game, in a sense, because Unai Emery is a tactical genius. He's been a tactical manager for how many years now? Like 10 years?
10 years. What are you talking about? Count Dracula has been around for centuries. He's observed football tactics from his coffin. Do you notice? I mean, people still haven't realized that every single time, whatever time he gets interviewed, he starts the interview with "Good evening." It's evening every time. He emerges from his coffin to tactically outclass Norwegian Andy Serkis. But on that point, I think we're pretty much finished with Serie A. We've made fun of Inter enough and how they've made Marotta crazy, and Ash has ranted on Manchester United. And now, Ash, you get to shit on Arsenal because we've lost to a bunch of Man United rejects.
Can I go after someone?
I mean, I would gladly take the mick at you, but then now we're not even sadder position, right? Like, we're fucking sixth. Jose Mourinho got sacked, we're sixth. Ole is on the way, we got some good magical runs, and now we're still sixth. So, I mean, I can't take the mick at Arsenal fans, but then since I'm a jerk, I'm definitely gonna go for it. Like, you deserve to lose that.
Since I'm a jerk, since I'm a jerk, I'm gonna do it.
I mean, yeah. All right, that's what I mean. You are atrocious, and I actually had. I mean, was it Troops? He said that the game was changing when Auba was brought on. Like he's fucking smoking weed, man. That's definitely not the right answer. I never saw that, or maybe I got a different telecast in India. Definitely not. The second half was just Everton going all over you, trying out different positions and styles. They were just playing you here and there.
So tell me one thing, right? Why does everyone constantly feel the need just to blame Mesut Ozil? What was Mustafi doing on the goal? He gets.
That's the thing, Yeah, I know. You know why they blame Ozil? Because he's getting paid 300k a week, and English-going fans like Tony can't digest that because we know we're a fucking working class.
See,
and
Tony,
we know the value of money.
Tony is a Mesut Ozil.
These fools get
paid 200k Tony is a Mesut Ozil. Tony is a Mesut Ozil super fan. Tony's always going after me. I'm the one who blames Ozil. I'm the Ozil
creator. Yeah.
Dejector. So I'm gonna go off on a tangent here. So the reason why I go after Mesut Ozil in games like these is because in games like these he never fucking shows up. We paid $350,000 a week to a guy who only plays well in home games. I haven't seen him perform in an away game for about 2.5 years now. He hasn't done fuck all in an away game. When we need him, he isn't there. We needed some creativity. We needed some dynamism. We needed some incisive passing and some tempo in our midfield. Mesut Ozil didn't show up. Mkhitaryan didn't show up. Elneny, we know he fucking sucks, but hey, we can't risk Aaron Ramsey getting injured for Napoli because then, even worse so, we'll have to play fucking Elneny against Napoli. Then we're fucked. So.
Oh, you mean ahead of the Napoli game?
Yes, that's why Ramsey was rested because he had a knock and he couldn't play the full 90. So, our midfield is basically bare. So Mesut Ozil has to show up and give us some sort of creativity. He doesn't. Again, my entire issue with this guy is every time.
TV, right?
No, but dude, come on. Every time we need him, he isn't there.
No, I agree with that, but like every time on AFTV, right? I mean, normally they do go after Mustafi, but this week they were talking about what's it called? Özil, only Özil. Aubameyang didn't do much yesterday. Lacazette the same, right?
Yeah, but then they need service.
Of course, but like they also have to work hard themselves. I mean, Aubameyang's playing as a right winger, right? In that team yesterday, or a left winger. I just don't see enough. Listen, we can't just play with him as a left winger because it's just not working. We should play two up front, right? Özil and Mkhitaryan were poor yesterday. Guendouzi was terrible yesterday as well. I think the whole team was poor.
The Guendouzi,
even Leno.
Guendouzi, so. I mean, okay, I'll say two guys that I thought did well. It's Socrates and Leno, but other than that, I don't think anyone.
No, Leno saved your ass, yes.
Leno saved us. Leno and Socrates saved us.
You both know how much I love Leno as a goalkeeper, right? And how much I really respect him. But there was the one time when he comes out, right, with the ball and he nearly gets tackled. I thought, first of all, what the fuck? I think it was Mustafi passing it back to him. What the
of course. Captain Calamity.
I mean, your goalkeeper's the one that you don't want to be put under pressure in these situations.
Yeah, but
and again,
let's be real. Let's be real. Leno can play with the ball.
Yeah.
And I think Leno, as a goalkeeper, was frustrated to the point where because nobody else is creating, so he has to do something. So he has to take some fucking risks and draw in the press to maybe pull the Everton line up so we have more space. But even that didn't work. And on that point, I want to address fucking Shkodër Mustafi. On that throw-in, this is hilarious how bad this guy is. So what happens is Luca Dean goes and does a B-Tech Rory Delap, chucks the ball in, Stoke style, into the mixer. Mustafi is marking Phil Jagielka, who ends up scoring the goal. But what Mustafi does is he heads the ball ahead of Jagielka, wins the header, heads the ball on, and then as he heads the ball on, he doesn't track Jagielka, who's peeling off the back of him. He turns his back to Jagielka and goes and watches where the ball is. As the ball gets headed back across of Mustafi and tapped in. What the hell?
I'm sorry, but how did he get an 8 yesterday on Arsenal Fan TV?
Who?
He's shambolic.
Honestly,
he needs to go.
Who got?
At the end of the season, sell him. Just get rid of him.
Did you say 8?
I'm absolutely sick of the guy, man.
Did you say 8?
Yeah, he got an 8 on Arsenal Fan TV. He got the most for an Arsenal player.
Who fucking gave him an 8?
Troops. I think Troops sometimes is a bit of a fucking moron.
Wait,
if I'm being honest.
Troops gave Mustafi an 8.
He gave Mustafi an 8, and he gave Özil a 3. He gave or a 2 or some shit.
Nah, man. Listen. I don't like to do profiling of people, but Troops was high as fuck yesterday.
Yeah, same.
He was high as a fucking kite. Get out of here. Mustafi cost us a goal, and then after he doesn't track Jagielka, he puts his arm up, calling for offside after not realizing we have a man on the fucking line. It's impossible for offside. Offside is impossible. We had a dude on the line, on the goal line.
I'm fucking really fed up with Mustafi's just shit. He doesn't belong at Arsenal Football Club.
I'm
honestly,
dude. Never mind.
Bro, I was at the Atletico Madrid game, right? And basically, I was in. I told you the story before, but I want to just put it into context on the podcast because for me, it's important to go into because it's Mustafi, right? I'm sitting directly in front of the guy. It's Arsenal versus Atletico Madrid, like I was saying. I'm like, there can't be anything that goes wrong here. Mustafi can't make a mistake. You know, you see Griezmann coming forward, right? Or there's a ball, and then the ball's been put long, as Atletico Madrid do.
Yeah.
Now, sure, you can say that. What's it called? Koscielny failed to get rid of it, right? But not everyone was like blaming just Koscielny. What about what the fucking shambolic Mustafi did? He didn't stand up. He slides down in front of Griezmann, committing so early. It's an atrocious mistake.
Well, that's his move. That's his move. Slide tackling air. That's his move.
Honestly, I can't believe we signed this guy for £35 million or euros
Listen,
or whatever.
He's brilliant. Mustafi's brilliant in marking ghosts. If he was in Lord of the Rings, he'd mark that entire army out.
Dude, I mean, it's true because like he's just fucking shit. I can't believe it. Honestly speaking,
terrible. I know. He's like the kid in Sixth Sense. He sees people that aren't there.
He makes me want to cry. Like honestly, he sees these fucking non-existent people, right? Like you're saying.
Aberrations.
He sees them fucking everywhere, so he goes, I'm gonna slide tackle. You know, he sees the ball as well. Like, I don't know, he sees some astral projection. Like, he belongs in Doctor Strange. He doesn't belong on a pitch, and he doesn't belong in the.
I just figured out why troops.
Right.
Why?
I'm fed up. Seeing this
I just figured out.
Waste man.
I just figured out why troops gave him an 8. And why Mustafi sees things. Because they're probably smoke buddies.
Hey, that's true, you know, like no, I think
they're like Harold and Kumar.
I wanted to punch my phone like I do like AFTV, but
troops and squadrons.
Fucking some of the things, man, like Squadron Mustafi getting an 8 yesterday. He was our best defender. Well, we've been watching 2 different games because he was shite, man. He was absolute shit.
Socrates literally stopped the ball 2 times from going over the line. Like Socrates is out there throwing his ass on the line. After Mustafi goes AWOL again.
No, but don't forget, Mustafi was our best defender yesterday. Out of position, giving away fouls, dangerous areas, not marking people, making red card challenges. Oh, the guy is a fucking shambles. He is a shambles, mate. He needs to check himself. He has to go to counselling or something because he is shambolic as living hell, man. Bro, every week now it feels like this is becoming the fucking Mustafi show.
I was right again.
Yeah, I was. Like, you don't understand. I've been Mustafi out for the longest time now. I can't even believe we bought him.
Who hasn't?
You know.
I know.
You can get Virgil van Dijk for 12 mil? Nah. Mustafi for 35. Banging price right there. Oh man. He
is hilarious, but he's not more hilarious than what happened in the PSG game. And the only reason I'm mentioning this is because Eric-Maxim CHOUPO-STOPPING from now on. He's no longer CHOUPO-MOTTING, he is CHOUPO-STOPPING because he managed to stop a ball from going into the goal from 2 inches, and he plays center forward for PSG. So instead of scoring...
How embarrassing, man. How embarrassing. Like, that's one of the worst mistakes, right, you could make. Ever.
They had the champagne on ice. They were supposed to celebrate a league title. The guy stops the ball on the fucking line.
What a schmuck, man.
How PSG is this? Like, they are worse than Spurs when it comes to bottling it. Like, this is This is the way Spurs would bottle a league. Literally someone stopping the ball on the goal line instead of scoring.
It's absolutely embarrassing. Like, he must look at himself now like, I am shit. Just end the conversation. I am shit. Just finished, because he really is, like, after that miss, yikes. That's all I have to say. It's a big yikes from me. Like, that miss is definitely the worst miss in the history of football. No one can deny that, and no one can say anything different. I mean, that miss.
There was a guy in the Croatian First Division. He played for my team, Dinamo Zagreb. A dude named Ilija Sivonic. So if you can spell that, listeners, go on YouTube and look up Sivonic miss. So this guy missed from a very, very similar situation. He managed to actually put the ball over the crossbar, which is even funnier. But
how?
Don't worry, I'll show you the video. But again, CHOUPO-moting, even by the admission of our local biases, was worse. This is just peak.
Oh, it has to be like. He's inadvertently ruined his own footballing career now at PSG.
He's a meme now.
He is. I mean, that kind of miss, it's just, for a player who plays for PSG, it's embarrassing. He's gonna have to go home, and his sons or his family there are gonna just fucking goon him off for the rest of time. I mean, he low-key kind of ruined the moment for PSG, not just PSG, and also Nkoku, who was in on goal, and thanks to the amazing
to be fair, Nkunku finished brilliantly, and the ball was going in the back of the net, and just CHOUPO-STOPPING appears.
Oh, my life.
Oh man, if only Mustafi could defend like that.
Oh, Mustafi's a lost cause. Oh,
I'm afraid so too. And on the topic of lost causes, Chelsea are playing West Ham at home in the race for the top four. Perhaps not such a lost cause as it appeared earlier in the season is Maurizio Sarri's Chelsea career, because they do, of course, play Slavia Prague in the Europa League on Thursday. But before then, they have to play West Ham. Not, to be honest, not the easiest of games, especially for Chelsea. It is a London derby, and West Ham and Chelsea do have a historic rivalry in London, more so than West Ham have with teams like Arsenal. But again, it is definitely a chance for Chelsea to, with a game played ahead of schedule, ahead of Arsenal and ahead of Tottenham, to jump both Arsenal and Tottenham and go into third. But given Chelsea's season this year, do we really
I wouldn't be surprised if they lost.
Exactly. That's kind of my idea here. You know?
I mean, for me, right, it's just they want to play attacking football, but they want to act Sarri now. It's like he hasn't even got a good team, right? Chelsea themselves, this year, you look at their team, it's actually kind of weak. You know, it's unstable. Players like Marcos Alonso, they've just been poor. You know, Marcos Alonso, shit. David Luiz, his best days are behind him. Rudiger, he's making a few mistakes, but I think he's still very good. At right back, you probably want your best defender,
Dave,
David,
darling, Dave. As as Tony's beloved Sophie Rose calls him, Dave.
No, but for me personally, it's just they're not far off of where we are at the moment, and nor are Manchester United. But people, because they've spent more money, people like to make it seem like they are way further in the progression. I just think we are inconsistent, like they are. But we also need quite a few players so we can be a top level club. I mean, when you look at City bringing Mahrez off the bench for Sane and bringing Bernardo Silva off the bench, or
we are light years away from Man City. Let's be real. This not
100%.
That's not a category we should be looking at least for another 2 years of consistent, secure top 4 placement. In my opinion, that's not. I don't think.
And I think that the thing is, with Manchester United, you know they're going to spend big in the summer. It's just they need to spend in the right positions. Same Chelsea, we don't know yet because Chelsea obviously got their ban.
Yeah.
But you look at the game tonight with Chelsea. Again, I think I know I stayed a bit off topic there, talking about the other top 6 teams going for top 6, right? But I think
top 6 teams going for top 6
area. I think they'll be in the run until the end of the season.
You've confused me. Frozen pasta moment again. Top 6 teams going for top 6.
No, sorry. I meant to say I meant to say
it's been quite a Mustafi debut for you on the pod today.
100%. Definitely. Hopefully.
That's how we like it, by the way.
Oh, fantastic. Oh man. No, but hopefully we will they'll lose tonight and we can clutch their result and we can get top 4, because in the end of the day I want top 4 this season.
Well, yeah. We all want top 4,
obviously, but like I believe we can make it. I believe it comes down to being consistent till now in the end of the season and not having another Everton game.
Well, yeah. With Mustafi in the team, consistency is guaranteed. Consistent calamity.
I don't want him in the team anymore. I would put Mavropanos over him. I think Mustafi's ship has sailed.
I would put Steve Bold and Emery in his coffin.
Oh, my life.
Get Steve Bold pushing Emery in a wheelbarrow and Emery in a coffin. They'll defend better.
But I mean, Mustafi is just, he makes mistakes that you would be better playing with 3 centre backs, if that makes sense.
That doesn't make sense.
Some of his mistakes will actually hinder your team playing.
That doesn't make sense. We actually do play with 3 center backs, and one of them is Mustafi.
No, I mean like.
Dude, are you dipping into Troops' stash? Same with Mustafi. Are you in their
definitely, bro?
Are you in their pod group?
It's 420, bro. Come on. Oh, but
I think it's time. I think it's time to
Oh.
close out this pod, man. You've been, we've already gone way past the mark I wanted to hit. I wanted to keep this pod shorter, but again, in true Rant Boys fashion, nothing ever goes as planned. So, to end, let's do a quick Champions League preview. We've already done Liverpool, Porto, and SANJ pooping in his nappies because Musa Marega is so scary. On Tuesday as well, it's Tottenham at home in the toilet bowl. Speaking of pooping, will Manchester City be the first one to clog the toilet? I firmly believe they will clog Tottenham's brand new toilet. And on Wednesday,
100%. I think it's going to be 3-1 to Manchester City. I think they're going to go there.
I have a feeling as well. They're going to hammer them pretty badly. And on Wednesday, we have the Ajax youth movement against the retirement home of Juventus. How you feeling?
I think we're gonna win 2-1. I think it's gonna be a close game because it depends if Ronaldo plays. If Ronaldo plays, it'll probably be maybe 2-1, 3-1. I don't think we're gonna have another Atletico Madrid performance in the first leg. I feel like if we have a 2-1 and we take it back to the Allianz and we beat them there as well,
Allianz,
we're gonna be on for something this year.
Yeah, dude, you are on something.
That's the name of the Juventus Stadium
right now.
Wait. Bro, that's the name of the Juventus Stadium.
Allianz.
Yeah, the Allianz Stadium.
What the fuck? This
Allianz. Like
why did they name their stadium? Why did they sell the stadium rights? Again, this is like, and again, I'm going off on a tangent here, but this is like the NBA situation where you have the American Airlines Center and the American Airlines Arena. One's in Miami, one's in Dallas. But it's a fucking like, both are the American Airlines, whatever. And it's like stadium, arena versus center and stadium versus arena. It's like...
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I think I wanted to, personally to call it fucking either Stadio della Alpi again, or just give it another name. I don't know why we needed to call it flipping the Allianz Stadium. I mean, some people, it's weird because they call it Juventus Stadium, Allianz Stadium. So it's a very strange one. But the actual name of it is the Allianz Stadium.
Listen, if Andrea Agnelli can get cash from somebody, he will take it. So
100%. He's a great businessman. But yeah, I think we're gonna go through. I don't think it's gonna be so easy, but I think Ajax overperformed against what's the word? They overperformed against Real Madrid, and I don't think they're gonna perform like that against Juventus.
Yep. I'll agree on that.
Who's playing next after that? Is it Manchester United Barcelona, isn't it?
Manchester United Barcelona as well on the Wednesday. We've had depressed Ash during his, I guess, release time from his jail cell in the sweaty armpit of humanity known as India. He has called in and offered us his depressive views on Manchester United. And on that point, we move on to Thursdays, the normal slot time for Arsenal at this point. We are playing Napoli, as previously mentioned. That should be fun. Not.
Oh, I can't wait, man. I can't wait for the podcast after the game with Tony to hear his reaction. Because it's either going to be an Arsenal win and Tony's going to be ecstatic over the moon, or an Arsenal loss. And then you're going to have an unhappy
and he's going to sack the entire team, the manager, and probably the entirety of London.
Honestly.
If you guys thought that Tony not being here was something that affected us badly, wait until after the Napoli game. That's it's gonna be a special level of Tony then, especially if the Brexit thing doesn't get solved in time, because Tony is a very big fan of Theresa May's political stances. So just compound a bad Arsenal season with failure of Brexit. We're gonna get a Tony unlike we've ever heard before.
That's exciting. That really is.
I am excited. I miss him already. On that note, you guys can follow us on at @rant_boys. Please make sure to subscribe, like, and share. Please share with your friends. We're trying to build this show. We're trying to make it more fun. We're trying to make it shorter. Again, like I've said, in true Rant Boys fashion, we again went over the time we planned because nothing ever goes right. And I guess that's the brand of podcast and brand of show we're making. We're going to bring you guys a show where nothing ever goes right, but what does happen is fun. So that's our brand, I guess. And on that note, guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, share, rate, review, comment. Hit us up with questions in the comments. Hit us up with questions on Twitter. We want jokes, interaction, any type of feedback you can give us is much appreciated. So thank you once again for listening, tuning in, paying attention, and thank you for sticking with us even though we weren't around during the international break. We'll do our best to change that. So on that note, thank you once again, and goodbye, 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 and